What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Modern Day Brokerage Podcast. We have Alan here, CEO of Best Homes Real Estate, mortgage, title, investments, whatever it is, you name it, he's got it done. And that's why we like to have him here, sharing his best practices, what he's done, mistakes he's made in the past, how he's overcame them, and how you can do the same exact stuff and succeed by fast-tracking the process by hearing what he has to say. So, Alan, what's going on?
What's up, homie?
Just living the dream. Living the dream. Oh, man.
You are definitely living a dream, I tell you that. You're moving into what, Optima?
Yes, yep.
You getting keys tonight?
Tonight, after my orientation. So.
After your orientation?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about this orientation?
So, I guess there's probably rules, I'm assuming. And
of course there are rules.
Walking me around and
you're moving to like a multi-million-dollar
yeah,
condo.
Right. No.
Of course there are going to be rules, absolutely.
Yeah, but
so
I'm excited.
For our viewers, and so there's like a really nice, I think they have like 3 locations around the valley, right?
Yeah.
Optima buildings. These are like high-end apartment/condo buildings where you have like all-inclusive amenities like saunas and cold plunges and basketball courts, racquetball and pickleball and football and baseball. I mean, everything is there, right? They're like high rises, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo there. So he's going to be moving to Ney. And before he can move, he's got to go through an hour-and-a-half orientation.
Yep. So
where
looking
they're
forward to
going
that.
to tell him exactly what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Tristan is a party guy.
Yeah.
It's good to be young and rich.
Anyways, all right. So let's get to the basics of this. Today, I want to kind of ask you just a few questions, stuff that I've been hearing brokerage owners and everything talk about. But I think before, we always talk about recruiting and stuff. Let's talk offers. Like as a brokerage, you've hired over 280 agents. So I would say you have a pretty good offer locked in. But where did that all stem? Like, what made you want to, because there's what? How many brokerages are there in Phoenix metro area?
Phoenix Metro, last time I checked in MLS, there were like close to like 2,400.
2,400?
Brokerages, yeah.
So 2,400 brokerages, but yet they all kind of have the same offer. I mean, not necessarily, or they're not showcasing it enough. So like, what made you say, you know what? I'm going to select these specific agent avatars.
Yeah.
I'm going to go after these. I'm going to have this specific offer, and this is how I'm going to lay it out. Like, where did that all start?
Yeah, I mean, it's all started really, when I, launched my own brokerage, because like you mentioned, right, like we have 3 different ideal agent avatars or profiles. We call them ideal agent profiles, right? Yeah. IAP1, IAP2, and IAP3. IAP1 is a producing agent. IAP2, someone who's got experience but is looking for the consistency in their business. And then IAP3 is technically like a brand new agent or maybe has little experience, but they haven't really done that much business, right? Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 avatars. And for each avatar, I feel like, and this is from my experience meeting with probably hundreds of agents, right? You got to have a unique or a special offer that will really connect with them, that will really resonate with them. And the way you really figure out those offers is you ask them questions, right? You figure out what's really they're looking for or what they need in their business, what they want in their business, what they're aspiring to get to in their business. And typically based on those answers, your job is to figure out the offer, right? So for instance, let's say it's an agent that's been in business for 3 or 4 years, and in the last 6 or 7 months, they haven't closed one deal, or maybe they closed just one property, right? Just one closing. Well, that agent probably is looking for what? Looking for consistency. They're looking to close more deals. They are looking for more leads, more at-bats at the plate, if you will, using the baseball terminology. So our offer is going to be, revolved around the leads, marketing, making sure they're getting enough leads coming in, so this way they can build up their pipeline, and ultimately they start closing more deals, whether it's one deal every 2 months or one deal every 3 months. But the point is the fact that because they have an inconsistency in their deal flow and they're not getting enough leads, that's what you're going to lead with. Now, that's just one explanation or one example. It can be many other things. It can be the fact that they're looking for consistency when it comes to their schedule, right? Real estate sales, it's independent contractors. There is no hourly type of a setup where they clock in or clock out. So you get that flexibility, if you will. The problem with flexibility is, you can definitely become super flexible, not doing anything, or doing some things, and the rest of the day you're doing something else, right?
You're focused on like the wrong things and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that we help our agents is really creating their ideal week. And I know we use the word ideal. There's never going to be such thing as ideal week, but at least have a structure in place when it comes to your week, when it comes to your day. And it doesn't have to be 8 hours a day you're working in your business. It can be 2 or 3 hours a day. But those 2 or 3 hours, you have to be laser focused on really the tasks that if you do them, your business is gonna grow, and you're gonna start seeing the results.
Yeah. And by the way, anyone who's watching this, if you guys do want a more in-depth training on when it comes to like your ideal week, let us know. Alan actually did like a full-blown, what was it, like a 2-hour lunch, learn and grow on it, where we have access to that, so you guys can really dive into that. This is relevant to agents, brokers, team leaders. I even watched it and took my own notes for myself. So, but okay, so like when it comes to the offer, then you said leads and marketing.
Well, that's leads and marketing.
Yeah, how is that different?
Really
or is
resonates for as someone that is really looking for consistency in closing deals, right? And by the way, most of the agents, that's what they struggle with. Yeah. Most of the agents do not have enough, leads. Their pipelines are dry, especially in the last year and a half to 2 years in our industry. Most of the agents are doing less deals than they did before. So that's one of the things that the agents are looking for. Hey, can I have more leads so I can have more opportunities, essentially. Yeah. Now, for a top producer or high performer, it can be something else. They may have 1 or 2 or 3 lead flows that are consistently generating business for them, but maybe they're looking for better conversion systems. Maybe they're looking for better life-work balance. Maybe they're looking to hire their first admin. I remember myself, my second year in business, I closed like 35 or 36 transactions, and I was doing everything. I was wearing all of the hats. And to be honest with you, there are weeks when I would work like 80, 85 hours. And I remember one night, 8 o'clock in the evening, I was sitting on my couch, pushing out paperwork, and I see 3 of my kids trying to get my attention. My wife is trying to get my attention. And here I am at 8 o'clock in the evening doing the things that an assistant or an admin can do it for like $15 an hour. Yeah. Right. So I was like, look, why am I doing all that stuff? I'm going to make good money that year. I think that year I made like over $200,000. It's like, why not hire somebody who can help me with all the paperwork, who can help me with all of my social media posts, who can be a buffer between me and my clients. And what I mean by that is like there are going to be certain questions that she can answer. I don't have to answer every single question, right? But having that admin, and I hired that admin, it took me 3 tries. The first one didn't work out. The second one didn't work out. But the third one that really helped me to go from basically doing 35 deals to 75 deals my second year, because again, like I didn't have to take care of those things. That freed me up to focus more on business development, meeting with more people, going on more listing appointments, and closing ultimately more deals. When I closed, I think my third year, I did like 75 transactions. I netted over $500,000 because one of the reasons was because the fact that I had somebody there to handle a lot of the tasks. And I think when you're a high performing agent or a top producing agent, and I see this quite a bit, they're usually lacking who. They're wearing multiple hats, they're feeling overwhelmed, and because of that, they're literally becoming their own bottleneck, right? And they cannot really grow, or they are growing, but honestly, they're just overworking themselves.
Yeah.
So focusing on who, focusing on the people in the situation, and that's something that we help them with. Leveraging through systems, the leads, obviously, higher conversions, and then ultimately the capital that they can invest in income-producing assets.
So you want to dive a little bit more into that then? So, like when you show them, like, what do you mean by that? Is it more of like mentorship? The way you help them finding the who, not how, or?
Yeah, I mean the mentorship, right? Look, we have a framework in our company, and it has multiple stages, right? Mm-hmm. So the first stage is really building the foundation and building the consistency. So it's for someone who's looking to like close at least one transaction every single month. Mm-hmm. That's the consistency, right? Yeah. Like if you talk to most of the agents, whether they're brand new agents or even experienced agents, most of them are looking for consistency in their business. Like they're not looking to build like huge businesses or build teams, like none of that, right? Most of the agents, they're just looking for consistency. If I can close one deal a month, it's one transaction a month, and our average commission check right now is about $10,000, $11,000. That's over six figures. That's over $100,000 a year. Right? Yeah. So for someone who's closing just one deal, that's a good way of earning a living.
Yeah.
Right? So most of the agents are looking for that because most of them are averaging less than 3 or 4 transactions. And because of that, they got a great month. They catch up, when it comes to their bills. They catch up on all the other things that they wanted to do. And then for the next 2 or 3 months, nothing happens. And they're starving again. And because of that, they're pressing. Because of that, they start getting worried. Because of that, their financial conversations that are not really comfortable, with their loved ones, right? And because of that, because they have so much pressure on them financially, then they look for another opportunity, maybe another job, and real estate is secondary. And because the real estate is secondary, it never really becomes the primary focus. And when it's never a primary focus, it's really hard to grow and scale the business. So the foundation piece is the key. So that's the first level. Like if an agent comes to me and they're like doing like 3 deals, 4 deals, or 5 deals a year, the first thing that we're going to work on is the foundation, consistency.
Okay.
The second level is all about getting to about 2 to 3 transactions every single month. And when you're at 2 to 3 transactions every single month consistently, now you need help. You need admin. That can be a TC, that can be a VA, or combination of both. But you need somebody who can help you with the paperwork. You need somebody who's going to be setting up showings for you, who's going to be that buffer between you and your clients, somebody who's going to be posting on your behalf, let's say on social media pages or in emails and everything like that. So that will allow you to generate more business, to generate more leads, right? And then the third stage is when you're like doing 4, 5, 6 transactions every single month, and you do have 1 or 2 consistent lead flows coming in. Then the third step is, and it's not for everyone, by the way, the third step is surrounding yourselves with team members like agents, right? For example, my third year in business, I started generating buyer leads and started converting them. Come to realize that I was driving sometimes for like 45 minutes to an hour to show just a house, right? One way, and then an hour coming back to show 1 house or 2 houses. And I was like, man, this is just like, that's not really the ideal, way of spending time. Yeah. And that's when I started hiring showing assistants or showing agents, and it started working. And then I basically converted them into the buyer's agents. And that was kind of the genesis or the beginning of building a team. So when you're like at 4 or 5, and you're like seeing that you're really more focusing, like I always wanted to focus on the listings. Yeah. Like if you look at my production, majority of it's the listings. And then the buyer's agents can focus on the buyer leads. They can also then do open houses on your listing, so you can leverage your listings to the fullest. And then you go from 5 deals to ideally like 8, 9, 10 transactions every single month. That's anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 in gross commission income. So that's close to $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the 3, levels, if you will, that I teach or mentor my agents in the company. And then, of course, there's a level number 4, which is now start acquiring, income-producing assets. That can be businesses, that can be properties, flips, short-term rentals like Airbnbs, long-term rentals, syndications, like all of the other stuff, right? Okay. But the first 3 have to be in play first before you can start going and diversifying.
Okay, so let's break down the first thing then. So you have the buffer. You're helping your agents create that buffer. How do you help as like your brokerage as far as like the TC? What does that look like? The VA side of things, like how do you leverage that with the agents?
Yeah.
And then also like the social media posting and all of that. So that way, if anyone's listening, they can try to form the same type of thing or see how they can enhance.
So what we realized initially is the fact that, most of the agents, they don't know how, or they are afraid, or like they're just worried about the fact that if they hire someone, that person is not going to work out. Okay? They don't know who to look for. They don't know how to qualify them. They don't know how to train them. And there's so many unknowns. So instead, they're trying to basically do everything themselves. So what we decided to do, and that started almost 3 years ago when we hired you, is like, hey, I know we have agents that looking for social media help. They want to build their brands, but they don't know how, or they do it inconsistently, or they use third-party companies that charging them arm and a leg, and they're not really providing the best service, right? So instead we said, why not just keep everything in-house, So you have 2 people under you right now. What we do for our agents is basically what like third-party, marketing agencies do at the fraction of the cost. And plus we keep it in-house. The service levels are much better. The agents can interact with you. They can come to the office versus it's somewhere, in another state or maybe possibly in a different country, right? Mm-hmm. So the value there is the fact that the agents can come and literally they record videos. We will edit those videos for them. We will disseminate those videos to multiple social media platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, right? We will take that video and then we'll repurpose it where we can email it to their databases. We'll set up automations in their database as well. Everything that is so important nowadays and just going forward when it comes to branding yourselves and making sure that you're staying on top of mind when it comes to your sphere and your past clients, we do it for our clients. So when I say clients, I'm talking about our agents, right? Not all of them.
Yeah.
We have a selected group that pay for these services, right? But the amount they pay versus what they pay someone else, it's much smaller, right? And the results that they're getting, obviously, we're providing these services for almost 3 years, right? And we have over 50 agents that are using our services.
And I feel like one of the things too is I was actually talking to an agent today about the services and everything, and they're like, how do you manage all of this, just you?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I think the brokerage owners need to understand is leveraging, break down how much we leverage VAs at our to enhance every department, every department.
Dude, we got VAs, we got 8 VAs right now, and we have 4 major departments, right? So we got the marketing. You run the marketing side. Melissa runs the she's director of operations. She runs the operational side of the business. David runs the compliance, and then Erica runs the business development, right? So those are the 4 major departments, and under each department, right, we have the VAs that are supporting all of these heads and all of these departments, but they're also supporting agents, right? So, and which is, again, that's very important because we have agents that utilize our VAs. Mm-hmm. And what we are doing, 60% of the workload that you guys are all doing in each department is handled, if not even more, is handled by these VAs.
Yep.
I'm very bullish when it comes to the VAs. I think the plan for us is to double the number of VA count in the next 12 months. And And these individuals, they're great. I mean, most of them are. I mean, they're educated. Some of them even have master's degrees.
Yeah, we have a tech guy. He just graduated with like a tech degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, man, I mean, you can get like people like with PhD for like $8, $9 an hour, right?
Yep.
And we use VAs from Philippines.
Yeah.
Primarily, even like our bookkeeper, the bookkeeping services that we use.
Yeah.
For the companies, they basically run it through like a VA.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a company here, United States, but they basically use the VAs out of Philippines to do the books for us. Right. So like I'm a huge believer in that, and I think agents, especially the ones that are the second stage when they're closing 2 or 3 transactions, at least initially, should consider hiring a VA versus hiring somebody full time internally. Right.
Yeah.
The same thing with the TC. We have like our brand new agents, they are required to use a TC. And one of the main reasons for that is because, when you're a brand new agent, you don't know anything about contracts. Yeah, I know you went to a contract writing class, 6 hours, but ultimately, like, we don't want our brand new agents to be bogged down in contracts. We want our agents to produce. And when you're trying to figure things out and everything like that, there's a time and a place for it. But initially, we want to make sure that TC is going to be able to help you, right? That's very important. But also for producing agents, we have TC services, which is, again, super, super important.
Yeah.
That, again, helps them to not really, and it's not about generating a form. Like it takes 2 minutes to generate a form, right? It takes 2 minutes to write an addendum. It's not about that. It's all of the time that you're actually thinking about it. It's parked in your mind, figuring out, all right, and then tracking the timelines. All of that is preventing you or slowing you down from actually focusing on what's the most important. And the most important thing when it comes to real estate sales is sales. It's all about developing, building relationships. It's all about talking to people every day about real estate, meeting with them, showing homes, going on listing appointments, writing awesome offers, and providing exceptional service. Everything else should be done by someone else.
And so this is kind of what you just told me, this is kind of how you sell it to those agents probably, right? You paint that vision for them and
yeah, absolutely.
As the offer. Like
that's the offer. But again, I mean, everything starts for me asking them like, hey, what is one area of your business that you're trying to improve on? Like, what is one area of your business that you feel like you're the biggest bottleneck? Or right now it's the biggest bottleneck for you, right? It's one of the key questions that I always ask, no matter who. I mean, it can be a brand new agent, it can be a top producing agent. We all have bottlenecks. We all have things that we can improve on, get better at, that we're struggling with. And that's one of the key questions that I ask. Based on their response, then I will obviously see if I can provide them a solution. Yeah. The goal for us, and this is for the team leaders or brokerage owners, like when you're meeting with an agent, I'm trying to ask as many questions as possible, and I know sometimes it's very tempting to share everything about your company, to share everything that you offer, right? To share all of the success stories that you have, the tools, the resources, all of that stuff, right? But you gotta hold that back. Yeah. Your job is to find out about them, find out about their goals, find out about their struggles, the areas that they're focusing on, right? Their vision, where they want to take their business in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like our job is to figure out where they at right now, what's holding them back, right? And then where they want to go 5 years from now, and trying to bridge that gap. Yeah. Like that's our job. Right? And if we do a good job of really providing that vision to them, I think there's a good chance that it will resonate with them, make a connection with them, and you can get them on board.
So I mean, it's not really like, because I know when we talk about offers, people probably think we have this offer in front, and then agents are like, oh, like sign me up. Like, yeah, it is a great offer, but you start with discovery, and then you're like, oh, by the way, and so you kind of connect the dots on the back end of how your offer can help them based off the discovery then.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
all
right?
we would have a discovery-based framework,
Yeah.
the guide,
yeah.
the document, right?
Yep.
So that has all of those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about
And they know
discovery.
nothing about your offer before that.
No.
really?
I mean, at times we would mention a few things here and there, but no, it's more about them. It's more about their business. Again, like in the last 10 years, I have seen quite a bit, and what I mean by that is like I personally sold close to 500 homes. I was a top producing agent solo. I was a team leader. Now I'm a brokerage owner. I'm a business owner, right? There's a lot of things that I can share that worked for me and did not work for me, right? So when they're sharing something, there's a good chance that I probably went through it already. So my job is to help them out. My job is to provide them a solution, right? It's almost kind of like consulting or coaching piece, right? Versus trying to sell them on another CRM or another widget or something like that,
all the
right?
time, right?
They hear it all the time. And when you mentioned about the fact that like, hey man, we got so many brokerages and everybody's got the same thing. Well, what you mean by that is like it's the same noise that you're hearing from everyone. Everybody's got a CRM. Everybody's got the marketing packages. Everybody's got obviously great support, a great broker. All of that is, I mean, most of the companies will have that. I mean, these are all kind of baseline prerequisites. But what's next? What's next? And I think that we talked about this last time. I think one of the key shortcuts to success is to surround yourself with people or be in a room with people that have done it what you're trying to do. So if I'm sitting with a top producing agent or any team leader out there or a broker owner sitting with the top producing agent, there's a lot of value that you can bring to the table, right? And most of the top producing agents, they want to continue to grow. And there's something that you can offer them, and it can be something special, it can be something unique that will resonate with them. That's very important. Like, everyone has something to offer. The whole notion that we cannot compete against like big box brokerages or well-known franchises, right, or virtual companies, man, I think that's short-sighted and that's limiting beliefs. I think we all have something to offer. And by the way, all of those companies, they're all started from the beginning stages. They're all started from
And they could have thought the same way.
somewhere.
Yeah, they could have thought the same
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, kind of going off of that then, so to bring around the offers, I know that, so like right now you're talking more like discovery and stuff, and that's kind of how you connect the offer to the agent to connect with them. I did want to touch base on one other thing though, that I've had a lot of brokerage owners and team leaders asking, me about when they're like, when we're discussing in the consult and stuff. When it comes to mortgage and title, when's the right time to do that? And then when is it also, how do you fit that into what you offer to the agents? Like you said, ancillary, what does that look like for them if they were to offer that out to agents? For the top producers who are looking for that extra income.
Right. I mean, so one of the advantages being a brokerage owner versus a team leader is the fact that you have the ability to start your own mortgage company, your own title company, your insurance company. We call them ancillaries or verticals, whatever you call them, right? And the reason we want to have all of them is because everything starts with real estate sales. Real estate sales, a real estate brokerage, and the agents within a brokerage is like the engine, right?
Yeah.
It spits out the opportunities, right, to the mortgage company, to the title company, to the insurance company, home warranty company, inspection company, all of them, right? But everything starts with a real estate sales, real estate agent, right? So, I mean, you're seeing more and more right now real estate brokerage that have mortgage, that have title, that have insurance, right? And for us, it was just a natural transition. Now, I'm not advising that you do this from day one, absolutely not. But once you start closing 10, 15 transactions every single month, there's an opportunity there, especially if you're going to go JV route, to do a JV with mortgage, to do a JV with title, to do a JV with insurance, right? So this way you get something versus nothing, right? And most of these JVs that are structured right now, you know, you don't have to put a lot of money up front. Like I remember the days when it was like to start a mortgage company can be as much as $50, $60, $70, $80,000, right? Right now it's the fraction of the cost. Same thing with the title, right? You just have to look for the right JVs, right? But absolutely, I mean, the advantage you have is twofold. Number one, obviously, it's an additional revenue driver or drivers to your company, right? The money that you're making, obviously, some of it will be spent in reinvesting in real estate brokerage, right, to grow the brokerage. But the second piece is the recruiting / retention, because what you can do is you can sell some of these shares, if you will, of, let's say, mortgage or title or insurance to a selected group of agents that you're trying to recruit. And these can be top producing agents, right, or team leaders. And also for the retention purposes, if these agents are getting paid on a monthly basis or every quarterly basis, for example, for them it's just another revenue stream or income stream that comes in on top of selling real estate, on top of running a team and all of that. So it's something that I think every brokerage owner out there should seriously consider and look at, because at the end of the day, like commission splits and fees, it's one revenue driver. And let's be real, real estate brokerage world, just in general, like commissions, we're all kind of racing to the bottom, right? There's a commission compression going on.
What's the lowest? What's the lowest one in Phoenix? Would you say that you've heard, just for any?
I think it's like almost free. I think it's like $75 per transaction, something like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's I mean, but again, I'm not criticizing and I'm judging. I mean, there are different plays, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're a split shop, right? But there are, you know, flat fee, 100% companies and they're doing very well. And that's the model they're running. You know, we decided to go with the split model and you know, and that's the way it is, right?
Yep.
But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that like you got to have multiple revenue drivers in addition to just splits or monthly fees, right? You got to have, like, for example, a revenue driver from E&O insurance, TC services, VA services, bookkeeping services, marketing services. Like all of those can be the revenue drivers in addition to the splits, right? And that's something that we talk to and we share with our coaching clients in MDB. So this way they really can take advantage of growing their business, because again, that revenue is coming back into the business and it lets you to grow, invest in personnel, invest in tools, the resources, the marketing. So this way you can continue to grow and scale your business.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's good stuff. So like if let's say, you know, three biggest takeaways, if you had to make them quick, what would you tell everyone when it comes to like the offer, you know, perfecting that, whether it's that, the discovery and stuff? Like, what are your three biggest tips of advice since you've been a brokerage owner?
I mean, look, again, I identify your agent profiles. That's number one. I think with offers, it's an evolving process. The more agents you're going to talk to, the more you're going to be able to learn what they're looking for, and based on what they're looking for, you know, create those offers on your end. But again, make those offers shine. Like you cannot be in a closet, or the offers cannot be in a closet. Yeah. Like they got to be everywhere, right? On social media, on all over your marketing materials, your email signature, the landing pages, your your personnel, your team, they all have to talk about it. Your agents got to know about it. Like let everybody know. And the third thing is honestly, like, man, you just have to be consistently attracting and recruiting agents. Like that should be like your number one job or role if you're a broker owner or a team leader. Yeah. You got to be constantly bringing in talent, because agent's going to leave you. It's not if, it's when. And no matter how good you are as a leader, no matter how good your tools and resources are, no matter how much business they're generating, they will eventually leave you, right? So you cannot just sit there and say, well, I got these 10 or 15 agents and they're all doing great, and we've got this great team camaraderie, and everything's going to be peachy for the next 5 years. Absolutely not. I've been in that situation, and trust me, when they leave you in bunches. They leave you in bunches. So our job is to constantly bring agents, right? Develop those agents, create the environment within our organization so these agents can take advantage of the resources, the tools, and flourish. That's what we have to do as leaders.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, guys. So if you guys want to, learn a little bit more about this stuff, everything that Alan covered, we dissect every single piece of this when it comes to Alan, his experience building the brokerage. And we actually have a lot of content for free. You can check out our Facebook group. It's called Become Best Brokerage, where we drop free content every single day, PDFs, trainings, you name it. If you have any questions, we're there to answer it. And then also, if anyone wants to follow you on your social platforms, where can they find you?
Just my name. Yeah. Alan Kushmakov, IG, Facebook, Twitter, I think, TikTok. Okay. You're making me to go on TikTok and YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're pushing it. So like, if you guys like a lot of like the the quick tips and everything, make sure to follow his Instagram. It's Alan Kushmakov. He's dropping tons of value, two to three videos every single day, where you guys can learn and hopefully implement that stuff into your business. But thank you guys so much for hopping on, or thank you so much for watching today's podcast with the Modern Day Brokerage, and we hope to see you next time.
Take care, guys. My man.